So I was talking to my friend, and she was going through a really rough time. And I was trying to think about what do you tell somebody who's also going through something similar that you're going through? She's going through the divorce that she's initiating, but she has to because um, situations. And some of you, most of you know that I'm more or less going through the same thing. And I was trying to think about, okay, what is the best kind of advice that a friend should give to another friend? And I was like, oh, all right, so what you need to know, and I learned this through Divorce Force, Divorce Care. So these are the two support groups I've mainly been part of since, 2015. Was that your support group is, I'm not talking about like a group that like you go to on like Fridays kind of thing. No, I mean, you who do you go to when you need to talk? Who do you go to when you need something done? And who do you go to for like the compass of right and wrong? And those are the three things: the physical, the mental, and the emotional. Um, and I said, well, it's always good, and I made this up right on the fly. It's always good to have like a main five, which is just main five friends. I'm not saying you only have five friends and that these are the only friends that like you should really focus on, friends, family, or whatever. But it's the idea that these are the five people that like, okay, well, these people are gonna help me up. I'm gonna let them know what's going on in my life. I'm gonna let them know what's going on with this process, and they will help me through that. Um, and saying all this, I'm like, you know what? Who are my five main five, my top five? And I kind of like I kind of sat back and thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, but I have a lot of people who have always been supportive. Obviously, Chuck and Sue, they've always had my back whenever I need anything. Granddad Donnie, whenever I need someone to talk to, he's always there. But like, and Alicia, she's always tried to do the best she can with my situation. And and those people are great and everything, but like they're different. Chuck, Sue, Donnie, and Alicia, they are like family. So like it's kind of like not that they feel obligated, but it's more like they like they don't have to try because it's something that they want to do. And the main five is the same thing, but it's also people like outside the actual main core of like, oh, we love you, and we're gonna do this for you. But it's kind of people like, oh, we don't really have to love you. We choose to. We don't have to help you out. We want to. So I guess the main five, and at least in my case, I'm going to name out, are going to be people who are not exactly people who aren't in my inner circle, but who are very supportive. And I'm not saying the inner circle is not important, but these are people who I'm like, oh, I need to talk to you because there's something I need to talk to you about that I can't talk to Sue and Chuck or Donnie or Alicia about, or you have a resource that like will definitely help me during this hard struggle, or like just like, okay, well, what should I really do? And obviously everybody in like your family, your friends, they're all going to be supportive, but you should always have like a main five of people like, okay, well, you're my pillar to keep me up. So I'm going to start out with Brandy. Whenever my wife first left, it was a struggle, and I tried to really push myself, and I think there was 2 days that like my mind was just completely, and I was just like, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep. So, and it's something that happened in the past. I overtook my medication because I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to be awake. I just wanted to sleep. And I don't remember how she knew. And she didn't have a card, but she got somebody who was part of a support group that we were already part of and said, hey, Nick needs help. So she came over and like, hey, are you alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And she actually stayed, her and this friend of ours stayed with me until like they know, okay, you're good. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I got past that and I'm good. And like she did that for me twice. Like those are two moments that she saved my life, because right there and then when I just want to sleep, it's like I felt I didn't have anybody. I felt that there was nobody in the world that could understand, or I felt there was no one in the world that could comprehend and feel my pain. And I knew when she came over, I was like, what are you doing here? She's like, something came up in my head, and I just want to see if you're all right. And and for that, because yeah, my mom was kind of like I wanted to sleep, but like at the same time, it definitely was a suicidal moment. So for that, I will always be grateful for Brandy. And afterwards, she was like, "Hey, you know, she and her fiance Matt had a daughter named Izzy who was about the same age as Xavier. And like, hey, let's get out of the house. You pick up Xavier. We'll go out to the park. We come over to our house and we'll let them play, that kind of stuff. And for that, I've always been very extremely grateful for them for that. So Brandy and Matt, obviously, top of the list. More Brandy. Matt's cool, but I've known Brandy. She was the one who physically, get up, wake up, stop doing dumb shit. So I've always been grateful for that. Second person on my list, Vincent. We call him Vincent. His name's Paris, but Vincent has always been there. He's always been like, alright, this is the real shit. I'm gonna ignore your emotions right now. This is the real shit that's going on. And he'll tell me things that's like, oh man, you're being a complete dick right now, but you're helping me because it's true. I need to do X, I need to do Y, I need to focus this mainly in my head, I need to focus that mainly in my head, I need to drop that. He's always been that kind of person that's like, okay, this is reality, and this is not to hurt you, and I know that he's not this is, and he'll even say look man, this is the truth, alright, this person's not good, this person is good, this is what you're doing that's stupid, this is what you're doing that's right. And he's always been there, and he's been there from my brothers that have passed and everything else like that. So I've always appreciated his friendship and his counsel. So he's definitely number 2 on that list. I have the list right here. And I had to narrow it down, as you see, the list is long, but the third person is a friend of mine that I met recently. In the past, actually 3 years ago. We lost touch for a little bit, but then we found each other. His name is Al. He happens to we have a lot of similarities. His wife left him, and he was going through a hard time, and he had the same barriers that I did, and it was just really comforting. And he's a pastor too, which is really odd because I'm not really religious, and it's not that I listened to his religious talk, but he understood. Okay, well, you're not religious, but here's some real talk. This is what I'm seeing, and he's always been more than anything a friend to me, and I've always appreciated that. He was definitely more of the mental help there, where Brandy was more emotional, and Vincent also very mental. Oh, this is the mental compass. This is good, and this is bad. He's always been that kind of person who's I know you're not religious. You don't and it's not I don't believe in God, but I feel that I am more in control of my own path in my own life. And he goes, well, he goes, I respect that. And because of that, this is what I am thinking, and I am your friend. And sometimes, more times than not, he has always been or always said the things that needed to be said to me that made me go, you're right. Thank you very much for your counsel. So I always appreciated him for that. Now, and I know I said before, family, they're always going to be there. Zach is like my cousin. Because he is Chuck's nephew, but he recently got married to a good friend, a woman who has become a good friend of mine, and her name is Catherine, but I call her Alice. My brother gave her that pen name, and Zach and Alice have always been as supportive to me as possible. Zach has always definitely been that physical person. Hey man, I need something done. I need to move this over there, and I need a transportation over here because I can't do it right now for whatever reason. And he's always been that guy. He's hey man, I have you. And we don't really have deep talks because he's kind of well, that's not oh, that's your life. You deal with it. It's kind of he's a man of action like I am. So it's kind of okay, well, you need something done, I got you. And that's why I've always valued him. And his wife is compliments him. Compliments him in the way that she's very much more the emotional support. Hey, what's going on? How you feeling? Oh, do you mind if we pray for you? I'm you do know I'm not religious. She's that's fine. The power of prayer is not it doesn't discriminate. And she's always been really close to me. She's always been very open, and she has always allowed me to talk to her. Zach and Catherine, aka Alice, has always been. They remind me of my friends back from way back when I was younger. Jackie and Ty, and those guys went through hell with me, and I went through hell with them. So knowing that Zach and Catherine have had my back ever since, like they knew me, definitely gives me the strength to go, okay, I have these people who have my back. And last, and the hardest part about this, like this is kind of like a tie, because these two people have always, I always try to bring them. What's the word? I've always wanted them in my life because their experience have always been good, and their advice has always been helpful. So these two people are very much an emotional pillar for me, and they're not really like related. I'll be shocked that they knew who each other are. It's one. His name is Ufus. His real name is Mark, but everybody calls him Ufus. He's been in a similar situation as me. Matter of fact, I think we got married around the same time. Oh, no, not to but like around the same time. He got married to his wife, and I got married to mine. And things happened, and they separated around the same time that me and my wife separated. And I think their child was actually born a lot closer. I want to believe. I haven't seen him in forever. He's busy trying to take care of his stuff, and and if you guys know me, I'm always busy trying to take care of my things. But like whenever I need to talk, like, hey man, how you doing? It's like, hey, I understand what it means to be a single struggling father. So this is what this is how my life's going. I'm like, oh well, this is how my life's going. And like I talked to him a lot whenever it was just me and Xavier at home. And obviously after that, I saw him. I'm like, hey man, how you doing? And a lot of things happened to him. So like I've always wanted to, like, hey man, I'm reaching out to you because whenever I needed you, you were there. And he's always just somebody who like I want to hold on to. And I think that's what I was looking for mentally before. The idea that who people you want to hold on to. Like, hey, I'm not gonna let you go regardless of the distance that we have between us. Because your involvement in my life is beneficial, and I'm hoping that my involvement in yours is also beneficial. So like and then in the same line, because like I said, these two people I couldn't make a decision on. Like, okay, well, because I'm like, okay, well, one of these people either had to be 6, and I didn't want to. I felt these two people were really strong. The other person, her name is Jen, and she is complex and complicated, but she's always been somebody who's been willing to listen to the crap that I have in this pew. It used to be a friend of mine, Caitlin, and we used to talk every day, me and Caitlin. But Caitlin has grown away into a respectable, amazing woman. But obviously over there we just grew apart, which was sad. But me and Jen, we happen to talk about certain things, mostly about the idea of like how we feel like outsiders within a crowd, or how everything seems so much harder, and we just kind of lean on each other on that support. She's going through the same situation I'm currently going through, and it's kind of like as much as good as good as it is to have everybody else as the background, but to have somebody who's currently going through the same situations, like not really like exchanging notes, or not even like exchanging war stories, if you will, but more like, well, you're going through something that I'm going through, and you understand the situation a little bit better than maybe most other people would. I'm not saying that we're the only people who ever got divorced, but at the same time, we're getting that divorce at the same time, so I know that your emotions right now are more or less the same where mine is. Granted, our situation is completely different from one another. But both Jen and Ufus, those are two people who are similar in my situation, where they got with somebody and it didn't work out, but they had all the right intentions. They felt they did all the right things, and they're just kind of like about like what happened, So it's always good to have those kind of people, not just friends, but people who are like, okay, well, because some friends be like, oh yeah, I understand. It's like you never been divorced, or like you never had that situation. If it was another situation, you never lost a child, or like you never did this and you never did that. But sometimes it's good to have somebody who is in the same situation. I keep using the word. I'll try to find another word other than situation. But someone who's just there, like someone who's been there and is going through this. Kind of like, okay, well, we're holding each other up right now, because support is always a good thing. So those are my top 5: Brandy, Vincent, Albert, Zach and Catherine, Jen and Ufus. So, and yeah, like when you think about the names, like oh yeah, that's like 7 names. But these are the people, the top people who, and like, and I say the top 5 only because I was thinking about a small number now. I think I should have made a number bigger, but like, and if you have a bigger number, that's great, because the more people that you have, like, okay, well, if I need something, I can call on you for that. Where is it? No one important. You can call and people will be like, hey, I need help, or I need someone to talk to, or I need somebody's ear, or like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's always good to to try to find that, because if you believe that you are by yourself, the worst will happen. I'm telling you that from experience, because like I said, I wanted to sleep when I whenever Jasmine first slept. Like I can't handle this. This the person who I care for the most just slept. Like how am I? The person who I thought made me whole is now gone, and I feel empty. Like what? I just want to sleep and not feel anything. And Brandon was like, hey, don't do that. Psh, wake up. Stop being stupid, because you have a lot to live for. You have a son. You have a life. You have a personality. You have dreams, life goals, and everything else. I know what it's like to feel like everything is so hopeless and there's no one around. But in all honesty, if you're able to just kind of like sit down and be like, okay, well, who are the 5 people that either I do have and I'm not really realizing that, or who are the 5 people or 10 people or whatever who I want to be close to, because I feel that they are going to benefit me to help me through this process, and hopefully I'll be able to help them out in the future when I'm better, when I'm in a better situation. So I simply just want to say that, like, if you're going through a hard time, try to think about the people who you really want to help you through it. And like I said, it doesn't mean like you only have 5 friends or 10 friends, or only like 20 or 50 or only 2. Like if you have a top 3, that's great. Don't ever believe that you're by yourself, because you have options. And the only time you are really, really far gone is when you allow yourself to be far gone. Don't allow yourself to be far gone. Allow yourself to believe and know that you do have people who care about you. Just have to sit back, look around, think about it, be like, okay, well, these people have helped me. And I think these people are going to be the best. Not any kind of help, but like the best to help me through this struggle. And that's what I want to say. And I hope that me realizing this is going to help somebody else out in the future, or whoever watches these videos, to realize that, hey, you do have people who care. You have to be able to find them. You can't be like, oh, no one cares and that's it. Like if you feel like no one cares, find somebody who do. I'm not saying find a boyfriend or find a girlfriend or anything like that. Find a friend, somebody who's like, okay, I understand what you're going through. Let's see what we can do to help. I'm not saying they're going to or they're going to pick you up and walk the path for you. That's not their job. That's yours. These people help you like, hey, get up. Get up. I'm going to help you up. You're going to stand up. You're going to move forward. You're going to move forward. They're going to help you progress, advance in life, and make you feel better, and help you achieve your goals of normality and stability, and just being okay again. So remember that. Keep that in mind. So I talked enough. I didn't mean to talk for 17, almost 18 minutes. So I'll close this. But thank you for listening. I hope that my words have somehow entered your head. And take care, you guys. Good night, and all that jazz.